Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. TNTC1 coming out with another quick guide on the Dyson Sphere project. This time we are going to start having a look at how we can automate the iron ingots and possibly copper ingots. So the first thing we need to do is have a look at the recipe, and it says it's required in a smelting facility. So we go over to the buildings. We don't have a smelting facility. Click on the research. If you go to technologies and look at automatic metallurgy, you can see there that this is going to give us the smelter, and it's also going to unlock the magnetic coil and circuit boards. So we're going to activate that. It's already using what we have in our inventory, but I don't think we actually have enough of that, so we need to build 9 of these, and we need to build 9 of these. Actually we didn't, because they're ×2. Oh well. So we'll just build 5. Doesn't matter, because we're going to use them anyway. As you can see, it's now producing those. So while that's doing that, we can start to set up our initial run. First things first is we're going to need some mining facility. Again, cover as many circles as you can. Ideally I think 7 is the kind of key number. 2, 4, 6, 7. Perfect. We will take that. As you can see, with no power. What I want to do now is run a power belt if I can. Excellent. From here, let's just check our core, because the minute you start building you consume power at a rate of knots. You can organise your inventory by click that up there. Right, so we need power for this. We have power, but we don't have a pole in place to cover that. There we go. Hoorah, we now have a mine on that is producing us the vein. What I'm going to do now is come over to here, and I want to do exactly the same with this copper vein over here, and I'll show you for why. Mine, turn it round to roughly where it wants to be. In fact, that's probably not far off. There we go. Research is completed on the smelter. Beautiful. Even before we're finished doing what we're doing. Let's just rotate that round. There. I'll take that. Now we're going to need to run power over here. Now as you can see, we've got our last wind turbine here. So if we go to power and see if we can kind of pick this up. We're not going to build in this section here. So if that picks up there like it does, that is absolutely perfect. Couldn't make it up if you tried. Same with this. Is that going to cover the mine? No. Is it? It does, you absolute beauty. One in there, and we'll put one into there. Sweet. Stay close to these drones, because the further they fly, it consumes power. There we go. We now have copper, and we now have iron. What I want to try and do, if I can, is kind of build here and build down here. This is in the way, and there's not a lot. There's quite a bit of water around here, but at the same time I want them to be reasonably close. So let's try and do. I want to come down here, and I want to come down here. Perfect. Lovely jubbly. While that's doing that, I'm going to come over to the buildings. And now where we should see, there it is, there's the smelter. You can see that this thing is a pain in the butt to build, but I want 6. It's going to take nearly 2 minutes to build these 6. So we desperately want to automate these as fast as possible. But it's going to take me 2 minutes to design roughly what I want to do. So good as far as I'm concerned. These aren't so bad, I don't think. Let's just see what copper it makes. If we go to other recipes, what do we need for copper? So that's just copper. That's iron ore. And what was the other thing that wanted? So, yeah, it was just copper and those rings to make that. Okay, no, that's fairly simple. That's copper and ingots. So copper and ingots, we're going to need to do those to make that. And that is just that. No, I'm relatively happy with that, to be fair. What I'm going to do on the smelters is I want some more belts. I want to run it from here, I think. Yeah, let's run it from here. And this is I was showing or as I'm with another streamer earlier, his name's Juicy Butts, and if you see him, by all means go and follow him. The man is an absolute myth and a legend. Right, there is the method in my madness. Now bear in mind, when you build belts, you have to build them in the way that you want to go. So if you want to connect this belt and he wants to go that way, you can't build the belt that way, because it just will build the belt going that way. So be very mindful of that, because trust me,
you can now click the
you will
planet
fall foul of that.
in the lower left corner of
not
the screen,
interested in you, mate.
or press the M key to
he
try
still
the
talks. Nope, go away. So I want that and that, perfect. And then what I want to do is I'm going to run, yes, this belt here down here to kind of here-ish. And then I want to run a belt from here to here. And you'll see exactly what I'm doing in a moment. Don't get me wrong, you probably think, TM, you're just placing bait, you know, belts being an absolute plonker. There's method in my madness. Because this iron ingot here, let me try and explain to it why. Is we still building? No, we finished building. So what I'm going to do is find my smelters, which come under kind of production side here. I want a smelter there.
You built a smelter,
there,
which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots
and
automatically. While
so
you
there's the 4, and we made 6,
and
didn't we? So I want 1 there, and I want
to use sorters
1
and conveyor belts.
there. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put these 2 lines down to here, down to there, and then this line into there. So now what I want to do is place my storage, and I want my storage, oh you beautiful man, in there. Lovely jubbly. And the same here, I'm going to place a storage here, and I want one here. So what you can do is obviously you leave more belt for more stuff to go in. This is an initial setup that we're trying to find ways to power and keep everything hunky-dory and running. Yeah, that's fine. There's 2. Let's come over to here. Let's power this. So as you can see, this bit's connected to the grid. So what we want is to come in here and then come in here. And let's see if that powers everything.
Without recipe set.
There we go.
Please set the recipe you want.
So this is saying,
the recipe, you can use
go away. I can explain that.
You have a building without recipe set.
So you've just said, dude. Thank you very much. So we have our 4.
You have a building. You have a building without recipe set.
This could be a long tutorial, couldn't it? Holy moly. Right, let me just click in it and see what he does.
You have a building without recipe set.
I think this here, yeah, so this is going to be the recipe for this.
After selecting the recipe, you can use
the
less than key to copy the recipe and the greater than key to paste the next.
So that's the one next to M, basically. The less than is the key on the keyboard next to M, and then the greater than.
You can use
so I want to do
the recipe
that,
and the greater than,
and then this one here,
the next building that
select the recipe as ingots and ingots. Same again, you can kind of left click and right click on that. So now what I have is that the way I want that, or have I done that the wrong way around? I think I've done that the wrong way around, if I'm honest. So I'm going to have a look to see what I need to make. So this requires the copper and those. Yeah, so that's the wrong way around. Method in my madness. So what I'm going to do is just copy that and paste it onto there, and change this recipe over to click X in the top right hand corner, and I want these. I'm going to copy that and paste that. So now what I'm doing, and you'll go, what? Madness. Click on the logistics, grab these. Now bear in mind these are inputs, so go input, output. And then same again here, I want to go to the main iron ore, which is the input, and then the output, which is the belt there. And as you can see now, we're starting to, and we have our first lot of automation. So input, output, let's turn this around again. From the middle to the machine, which is an input, and then the output to the belt there. Happy days. So those boys are running down there Sweet. But what we're missing here is the storage option. And this is what I was trying to say to Juicy. That there's two ways to do this. And as I showed you over there, you have an input at the start, like so. And then you have an output, like so. Because the belt's full, there's no output. So what this belt does now will start to stack and store the iron ingots. Which means, guess what? We can pinch them soon. Yay us. Same here. I want an input close to where the machines are. And then the output there. Because this belt has stopped, this is now starting to fill with the washers. Yay us. So there is our ingots. We'll grab those because now we don't have to start to make those anymore. And then this one, exactly the same principles apply up here. Of course, we are making copper ingots because it's from the copper mine. So paste and paste. Exactly the same. We want an input to the machine and an output. And the same here. We want an input to the machine and an output. So now we have copper ingots being built. Yay us. Storage close to and then furthest away. So as soon as this belt is full, it will then start to input there. It's showing us there that we've got a power issue. That's what that symbol means. So I'm going to click power there. Just put myself a little cheeky power pole. In fact, what I'm going to do is I want to cover that there, like so. So we are producing our ingots, our little circles. These guys are going into storage as well. Aren't we fantastic? There you go. We have our first 100 and we can just put that back in storage and sort it. Which now means that we want to build a recipe. So we can have a look at what recipes that we want. And these things require magnetic coils. And they require the magnetic coils of, guess what? The magnets, and which we've got coming down here, and then this here. Yay us, aren't we just smart cookies? So now we want to extend this belt out and extend this belt out. Like I said, no need to build in kind of 2 squares. Don't need to do that. That's just crazy. That's just crazy talk. And then the same principles, exactly the same principles apply. So I want to do find my manufacturing. It's not going to let me do it yet, is it? Buildings. Oh, we don't have them. We can't actually build them. Oh, there you go. We'll have to move on to that as the next stage. There you go. That's an initial setup, and then we'll work on to the next one. Hope you found this one useful, and then I'll show you how to put it all together and then tidy it all up in the next one. Until then, stay safe, take it easy. Good night.